Alright, so since you've been on TV, what's changed?
Alright, see, look who's not ready.
Alright, I'm sorry.
Start over. Put your damn phone down.
It's not even bring that shit in there, bro.
Alright, we're still starting over.
Do that.
Off the record though, you gotta, like, hold on.
Come on, dude, no, I don't want to, no, I will tell him after.
Look at this, hold on. What's going on?
The fuck? That was good, that was perfect. I shouldn't have to.
I'm like slipping on my own albaline and sweat over here.
What's changed, man? Anything since the fight?
What's changed since the fight? A bunch of stuff. Nothing really for me, you know. I'm very happy for Kelvin. I don't want to make excuses. I could just say that Kelvin was the best man that day. And I know there's a lot of speculation that I threw the fight.
Why would people say that though?
I guess it's because what they saw on the show and to what they saw that night, they were like, that's not the same guy. And you know, I'm not gonna comment on anything like on that. But I think the main focus is to, you know, give Kelvin his props right now. You know, he's the last pick to, you know, get picked on the show, and he's been pulling off a lot of upsets. And on top of that, you know, from where he came from in his life, you know, to be the youngest in the Ultimate Fighter history, that story right there, that's news. You know, that's something people should be focused on. I think people are more focused on my loss than Kelvin winning the Ultimate Fighter, and they should put more attention to that kid because I think he deserves it.
Did you want the immediate rematch when the fight was over?
Did I want to I actually wanted to go a couple more rounds, man. I had a couple more rounds left in me, but you know, for me, maybe, you know, it was just the environment, and you know, it was like, oh my God, I'm actually in the UFC and all that stuff. You know, it hit me a little bit. I tried to remain calm, but it was cool, man. You know, I give it to him.
If main events and title fights are 5 rounds, do you think that that's a good case to make TUF finals 5 rounds?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I was ready to go to distance. You know, I had more left in me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a good point. You know, that's a good question. I think we should do that.
Makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense. It is a championship fight. Why not? Why not?
Less than a week later, you're back in here. I mean, is that a testament to, like, is that your reaction to the close loss, or are you always like a gym rat, like constantly in here?
Oh,
or?
hell yeah, man. I'm always trying to improve. I was ready to train the next day, and Chael was like, dude, relax.
Yeah.
Chael was like, take a time off. I was going to head out to Portland, and Ronda was like, dude, come down to Cali, you know, relax, take time off. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I came down, and it was great, man. I love the scenery, and just a great atmosphere, you know. I feel really mellow, and then I'm slowly getting back into it with the training. And, you know, she's a very motivated person, so it's good to have that around, you know.
You're like the complete opposite of Chael, as far as, like, you know, just completely smooth, just giving everyone their props. Like, I know he's like that when he's not selling a fight, but as far as the whole selling the fight thing, did you see how Jon Jones is getting a lot of heat for supposedly not selling the fight when he should, and Chael's maybe doing it a little bit more? Like, how do you feel about that as an athlete?
I mean, personally, for me, I talk with my fists, man. I don't need to. It's not who I am. I don't go in there and trash talk. Maybe I'll say, hey guys, go out there and, you know, expect a bang, but you really don't know what's gonna happen. You know, I can't really say. I can say, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but who knows what the other guy has planned for me? So I'd rather just be in that moment and sell the fight there, you know. And I think I was doing that, and you know, at the moment it sucked, you know, because I'm questioning. I'm like, how does this happen? I dominated through this point, and this happened to me. And I look at everything as a lesson, man. And you know, at this point, I look at it as, you know, at the height of that. And I remember Chael telling me that, hey man, it's okay to fail. And I know a lot of people are like, they want me to win and all that stuff, but I'm okay with it. You know, it sucks at the moment, but I'm okay with it. And I'm not gonna lose sleep. It just makes me want to get back to the drawing board and get better. You know, I'm the one that's out there, not you. So it should affect me more. I don't know how it affects others more, but thanks for the support. But you know, I'm okay with it.
Dana said that your head wasn't right going into the fight. What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I mean, for him, you know, I can say that Dana pumped me up and all that stuff, and he probably meant like, you know, I broke mentally. Maybe it was the surroundings, it was like all the pressure, and it was like I had to live up to this, and that's why I said I'm not living up to anyone's expectation, because if I do that, that's setting myself up to fail. So maybe, you know, it's just him saying that mentally I wasn't there because of my performance. I can't really answer that. I mean, I remember being there, but it was just a lot of weird emotions, you know. It was like fighting my little brother, man. It was weird. So, you know.
Does that make you hold back at all in there? I mean,
again, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to make excuses.
Well, because somebody said that it seemed like a sparring session. Did it feel like that to you?
It kind of did. It kind of did. It kind of did. But you know, maybe he wanted it more. I mean, I know I wanted it bad, but I just can't explain what really happened. But I just know that, you know, it's not gonna happen again. And the beauty about it is, it's like all this just lift off my shoulders. It was like all this weight just kind of came off of me. You know, it was all that hype that I wasn't feeding into. And now it's just like, all right, he lost, he's a human being. That which I was trying to tell everybody, I'm a human being, I'm a regular guy, man. But they were just trying to put me up on this pedestal, like, oh, he's the next Hannah. I'm not no fucking Anderson Silva. I'm Uriah Hall. I'm myself. So, you know, I feel good.
Do you think that coming off this loss, you want to jump back in there right away? You want to take some time off? Where do you go from here?
I'm ready to get back in there, man. I love the sport, you know. I don't think I should take time off to recollect my. There's none of that. You win a fight, you learn from it. You lose a fight, you learn from it. I'm an athlete. I love this sport, and I think at any given time in this type of sport, it becomes more of a business. I should leave. It's the reason why I'm okay with this, because I love the sport. I love it.
Did you feel like while you were in the cage, that you weren't prepared enough in any area during the fight?
I would say if there's anything I wasn't probably prepared as, maybe mentally, maybe. I mean, you know, the environment that I had with Chael and, you know, just that surrounding, that environment where it was just constant and it was just training all the time and that positive reinforcement, maybe that was missing a little bit, because it helped me a lot on the show. And, you know, for most athletes, I could say it's just, you know, their head is their weak point. But, you know, I feel like I'm still growing in the sport. You know, I'm new to it. Not new to it, but to this environment, and at least I'm new to it. So I'm looking to build. I'm looking to get better. I'm looking to improve.
Do you think if it was Josh Salmon in there, that it would have been easier for you to go in there with a killer instinct? And do you feel like you would have performed better had you had an opponent you maybe had some sort of tension with?
Maybe. But the problem with that too is, again, let's say we did make it to that. Everyone's again is going to expect me to kick his ass because of what they saw, how he was portrayed. So now that's added pressure. Oh, I have to win. So maybe that would have took me out of my element. I don't really know.
Does that fight make sense to you now? Because I know that Josh has campaigned for that fight. He wants to fight you still. Is that a fight that interests you? And is that something you can get motivated for?
If it comes to me, I'm going to take it, you know. Again, looking back on the show, at the given time that I was there, maybe I disliked him for whatever reason. But again, I have to learn something from that. And again, you know, we both had the same goal. We just took different routes. And maybe in that environment, I couldn't stand the guy. But outside of it now, it's like, hey, man, I don't give a shit. We moved on from that. That's how I feel. So, you know, if he wants to fight me, then what am I going to do? Say no? I'll take the fight. But I'm not going to have that emotion to say, fuck you, Josh. I'm not. I'm past that.
What do you think about Kelvin moving down to 170?
I think, you know, he's light, and that's probably a good choice for him, you know. I mean, he's growing, man. He's getting better every time, and you know, he's only going to improve. Maybe that's a good weight class for him, because I know being on the show, he was walking around really light. I'm like, dude, you're a freaking 170. What the hell are you? Normally guys are 85 or heavier, and he was light. So I think that's a good choice for him, you know. Hopefully sometime I'll get a little good sparring session in there again with him.
There you go.
Have you given any extra thought to training with Chris Weidman?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe after that loss, he was like, I don't want to train with that guy. But again, I couldn't give two shits, man. Because I look at it this way. Where were you 2 years ago? And I have a lot of people on my tail like that. That's why stuff like this doesn't bother me, because I have a lot of haters, and I have a lot of people who are there and don't care. It was generally, good. But for people that are like 1 minute on my shit and the next minute like talking about me, it doesn't bother me, because a year and a half ago I didn't know those people. So to me, they're not real. They're not, they're not really supporting me. So it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I know Chris Weidman, but a year and a half ago he wasn't looking to have me help him to train for this. He knew he was going to fight Anderson Silva. So why all of a sudden? Because I'm there on the show, and when he saw, so what is that really telling me about you?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Does it surprise you what the fame's done, to people around you, or did it something you expected when you signed up for the show?
In terms of what we mean, like?
Did it surprise you, like how people change, or like how people all of a sudden want to be around, and how your phone's blowing up and stuff like that? I mean, even Dana said that you're gonna be amazed by how many people start hitting you up. Have they started coming out of the woodwork?
Oh yeah, it's good, because you see who your real friends are again, and you just see the support. That's the biggest thing I'm looking at. For me, when I had that journey, the positive thing I look from it is me influencing a lot of people and being a role model. A lot of people say I was. I didn't realize that, but I paid attention to that more. To me, that was more important than the whole fame thing. I feed off that. And then now, I'm sure a lot of people looking at me like, oh, you're good as your last fight. That's bullshit. But it's just time. It was expected. I know stuff like this would happen. I know when you're at the top, people want to see you fail. And when you get there, some people want to see you get back up. And when you get there, some people want to see you stay there. I know how that works. But again, it doesn't bother me. I'm driven from a different source.
You're a good example of like the sports culture nowadays is hype and backlash, like constant hype, and then backlash if they either live up to it or don't live up to their expectations. But you kind of approach it with a worldliness. Like, where does that come from? Like, as far as being an athlete?
To be honest, I really don't know. I think it just comes from me enjoying the sport and not allowing it to shape and mold me in something that others want. I watched the sport growing up, and I just see how people just, go from here to here, and they forget where they come from, and next thing you know, they have friends that don't really give a shit about them, all that stuff. I didn't want this to change me. I knew I was going in there, and for those 6 weeks, it gave me better understanding of certain things. I felt like I became more mature in 6 weeks than I did in maybe 20 years. And for me, it's more the journey. That's why I lost at the finale. I'm more proud of myself what I endured during the 6 weeks. To me, that's the biggest test. Being there alone and not having that support, and driving off that. To me, I feel like a champion. And hats off to Kelvin again. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great guy. He won the tournament. I'll give him his props. But I don't felt like I really lost. Yeah, to others it's like, oh yeah, we wanted you to win. But me personally, as an athlete, as a fighter, as a human being, I think I gained so much that doesn't really bother me that much.